Okay, on number 5, it says, what is the postulate that proves angle 8 is congruent to angle 4? So we want to look specifically at angle 8 and angle 4. These angles are corresponding angles. That is the angle pair or the angle type that we're looking at. Remember, corresponding angles are angles that are in the same location within their angle group. 8 and 4 are both in the top right, so they are corresponding angles. On number 6, we are writing the following statements: converse, inverse, and contrapositive, and determining the truth value of each one of these. So first thing we need to remember, guys, is a conditional statement has a hypothesis and it has a conclusion. Okay, so when you are writing the converse, all you're going to do is switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. So your converse should say, if it has 4 right angles, then a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So with the converse, you're just going to switch. With the inverse, you're going to make them both negative. So we would say if a quadrilateral is not a parallelogram, then it does not have 4 right angles. The last thing we were asked to do is write our contrapositive. Remember, the contrapositive is kind of a combination of the two of them. We're going to switch and make negative. So it should say, if it does not have 4 right angles, then a quadrilateral is not a parallelogram. On number 7, we are matching the following special segments with their points of concurrency. If you want to draw lines, that is perfectly fine. I'm just going to write them out next to them. So our altitude is the orthocenter. The perpendicular bisector is the circumcenter. The angle bisector is the incenter. And the median is the centroid. On number 8, we are asked which of the following are not coplanar. Remember, not coplanar means not on the same plane. Two skew lines are not on the same plane. Number 5 says find the measures of angle 1, 2, and 3. We're going to kind of need to treat this like a puzzle, guys, and you're going to need to know linear pair, you're going to need to know vertical angles, you're going to need to know complementary angles. You always want to start with the information that you're given and kind of work your way around to find the angles, kind of like a puzzle. So we were given 154 degrees. 154 degrees and this angle right here form a linear pair. They form a straight line. So together they are 180 degrees. So we need to do 180 minus 154 and we get 26. So this angle right here is 26 degrees. This angle right here is 90 because, again, we have a straight angle, a straight line. So that means these are supplementary. So here we have a right triangle. We also learned that the angles of a triangle have to equal 180 degrees. We already have 2 of them, so we can add those 2 together and then subtract from 180 to find our third angle. And that third angle then is 64 degrees. So this angle here is 64. Angle 1 is a right angle because these two lines are parallel. So angle 1 is 90 degrees. Angle 2 is vertical with our 64 degree angle. So it is also 64 degrees. Remember, vertical angles are congruent. And then these two angles are complementary. So to find angle 3, we need to subtract 64 from 90, and we get 26. So our correct answer on number 9 is C. On number 10, we are identifying if the angle pair is either congruent or supplementary. So linear pairs are always supplementary. They form a straight line. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Same side interior angles are supplementary. Corresponding angles are congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. Adjacent angles, remember, are kind of special angles. Remember, adjacent just means next to. So adjacent angles could be lots of things. They could be supplementary. They could also be complementary, adding up to 90. They could also be congruent, but they don't have to be either one of these, but they can. On number 11, we are asked to identify which triangle does not have all obtuse exterior angles. Remember, exterior means outside. The right triangle is the one that does not have all obtuse exterior angles. On number 12, we are asked to identify which lines are parallel and which lines are perpendicular. M and P are our parallels. Remember, parallels have the same slope. They also do not ever intersect. And Q and T are our perpendiculars. On number 13, we are asked to find FG if EF is congruent to FG. Remember, your little equal sign with your squiggly is your congruent symbol. So if EF and FG are congruent to each other, we need to set equal to find our value of x. Once we set equal, we can put that into insolve. That's probably the easiest way. And we find that x is equal to 4. We were asked to find FG, so we need to go back in then and plug it in for FG. So 7 times 4 minus 21, that's going to give us 7. So FG is equal to 7. On number 14, we're given the points A, -5, 6, and B, 8, -4. And we want to know which of the following represents the correct distance formula. So we need the distance formula first, and then basically all we got to do is plug in, guys. So x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Now again, our x1, y1, x2, y2 come from our points. So label them, please, so you don't plug in wrong or in the incorrect spot. x2 is 8, and that's minus our x1, which is a -5. Make sure to include both. y2 is -4 minus 6. We need to simplify here. That becomes a positive. So C is our correct answer.